Alright, we're heading back to Nebraska again. I'm not really sure what we're going to do with any of this footage, but stopping to go to the bathroom. Look, it's a hysterical marker, which was a hysterical joke when I was like 10 years old. And there it is. It's a rest stop. That's a nice wheelchair access. That's nice. So anyway, I'm going to go do my business and then we'll get back on the road. Wow, better make sure there's no one out in the hallway before I start recording this week's very special, on location, Vegas Weekly. Hey everybody, welcome back to Vegas Weekly for Saturday, April 24th, 2022. As you can see, I am not in my normal studio. I'm on location here in Nebraska, hanging out at my favorite Days Inn. It should be yours. Got like 200 TV channels, got the fridge, the microwave. I'm set. I don't know why I even go home. But so yeah, kind of going to do a little bit different show here today because we're kind of in a different environment, so that seems appropriate. I started thinking about it the last couple of days, and I thought it might be fun to do kind of a show about what I think is kind of a natural progression for a lot of us who are sort of Vegas nerds, Vegas nuts, people that go back again and again. And that sort of Vegas state of mind that we're almost always in, and the progression from getting back from one trip until we finally get to another one. So stay tuned, we're going to go ahead and do that. First, I do want to introduce our channel of the week, because we're doing the channel of the week thing again. And today, I wanted to introduce another UK vlogger. Might be a little bit of a language barrier, but hey, if you've been watching Nicky Firmage videos and you're getting to the point where you can understand him really well and you need a new challenge, definitely want to check out Matt Bates, the Black Country Vlogger. Alright, so I've been checking out Matt's videos for a couple of years. Obviously with the whole COVID situation and the lag there and all the issues, it's been a long time since he's been able to make it back to Vegas. But like so many other UK vloggers in particular, he's taken advantage of the fact that he's able to make it back, and he's in the middle of a series of videos on his most recent trip. There's a ton of content there, and Matt's a hilarious guy, really funny. Like I said, I watched his videos probably a couple of years ago when he was here and really enjoyed. And there's like a number of kind of unique things. He doesn't just like stick to the usual stuff. He'll check out places you might not expect, go places you might not expect, and it's definitely worth a view. So check out the Black Country Vlogger. He's got around 400 subs, so see what we can do to see if we can get him to 1,000. And then let's talk about Vegas. All right, so today we're talking about the sort of mental progression that so many of us take who go to Vegas again and again. And probably, honestly, if you've never been to Vegas before, this may not be the video for you, and I'm not trying to chase you away. If you've gotten this far and you've enjoyed yourself, so definitely hang out. But I just, there is a kind of timeline that we mostly go through. And you know, we have a trip to Vegas, and if you know, definitely comment below. Let me know what you think about this. But you do get to that last day or so in Vegas, and you're like, oh wow, I'm kind of done with this. It is time to go home. I don't want to go home because when I get home, I have to, like, you know, wash dishes and vacuum the carpet and go to work and stuff. But at the same time, you're kind of like, yeah, I'm kind of done with this for now. I lost money. It hasn't been a great trip. It's time to get home. And you do, and you're grateful when you get home. You're like, wow, I got to just lay down, take a nap for a couple of hours, and then like try to get my stuff together. But for most of us, it doesn't take very long before we start thinking about when we can get back. Maybe we have a day or two before it starts dawning on us that we want to go back. And it's insane, let's be honest. Particularly if you've had one of those trips where you had not won money, where it has not been a great experience overall. Just been mediocre. Maybe the rooms were mediocre, the food was mediocre, the weather was mediocre, but it doesn't matter because you're going to get home. Maybe not the first morning, maybe not the second morning, but by midweek of that first day, or that first week, I should say, you're already thinking about how you can get back to Vegas. And it's insane. And for some of us, it's a little bit more complicated. I mean, if you're retired and you have like endless resources, or you're the Kinos, you can just go whenever you want. That's how it works. But for a lot of us, it's, we got to figure out how to get enough money together so we can go, we can pay our, we can get a flight, we can pay for our rooms if we need to, we have some money to gamble and do other things. So, it's a thought process. And, for some people it may be, next month or 3 months or 4 months. Or for me at this point, it's more like 6 months. And, you probably let it kind of hang for a while. You think about it. It's like, well, when should I go again? When are my friends going? Is there something going on that I want to be there for? So maybe you go 3-4 weeks, a month or so before you start getting that itch. I mean, it's worse than chicken pox. It's worse than the hives. I've had them both. And it's worse. You've got to get back to Vegas. So what do you do? So what do you do? Well, the first thing I start doing is looking at two things. One, do I have room offers? And so I'll look at different casino loyalty programs where I've played a decent amount. Typically that'll be, has been for me Caesars or MGM, Wynn maybe, Boyd, those kinds of places. And I'll start looking out maybe 3-4 months to see what the room rates look like. How did my most recent gambling affect my offers? And sometimes you'll be pleasantly surprised, and sometimes, depending on the time you're planning to go and what else is going on, you might discover that, wow, this is going to be more expensive than I thought. So you may make some arrangements, look at some alternate dates, that kind of thing. Second thing you're going to do, obviously, is look at airfare. I mean, for 90, well, maybe not 90, 75, 80% of us, we need to get a flight. And like right now, airfare is pretty expensive because of fuel prices. So I did start looking at prices as well as far as airfares to get there and back. And, just for reference right now, they were high, but I was like, yeah, I can make this work. And again, I think I mentioned it briefly. You think about, do you have friends that are going to go? Is there something going on during a particular time frame? Is there a reason I want to be there? And like right now, and I'm looking at a couple of different things, just the time frame of about 6 months, which puts me in September. The fact that my birthday is in September and I've gone several times on my birthday. The fact that the now, I guess, annual Mark Timber event is also taking place in September. Around that Labor Day time, I'm thinking, well, can I make that work? Also, for some of us who have jobs, it is also about looking at that point, and I haven't actually done this yet on this particular trip, but looking to see if there is going to be a problem getting time off. Typically, once I can see that there's a time frame I want to work with, I will ask off as soon as possible for my job. They're usually pretty good at responding within a week or two, so I can look at that and say, okay, it's going to work. But it's at that point when I get the time off request approved that I'm kind of like, okay, this can be real. So then I'll, typically revisit the airfares, revisit the hotel rooms. And I have found that the hotel room situation is one that I can kind of massage a little bit. Okay, so if I'm able to get my time off approved, the first thing I'm going to look at is airfare. And I've already looked at it, so I kind of know what I'm doing there. I usually always book through Southwest. I'm a member of their loyalty program. I have the Rapid Rewards credit card. And so over time it works really well. They're also pretty much the only air carrier that flies direct nonstop flights from Kansas City, and typically they do 4 or 5 of them a day. So it works out really well for me. And I've probably had maybe 5 or 6 trips where at least part of the trip was the airfare was free. You can't beat that. So I will look at that first. And then as far as the hotels, I've talked about, I think on a couple of occasions, the last 2 trips, one of them was over Labor Day weekend, which is a busy time. One of them was during March Madness, which is a very busy time. On both occasions, I was able to use My Vegas rewards, and there are obviously a lot of My Vegas rewards that have gone down the toilet recently. Not nearly as good as they used to be. But particularly if you spent some money over time, it seems like there are a number of opportunities to get a couple of room nights for free. In September, I got 2 nights at Aria over a weekend. It would have cost me like $680. And during March Madness recently, a couple of nights at New York would have cost me like $600. Totally worth it. Unbelievable, truthfully, because you weren't going to get those rooms for free anywhere else. So if you're not a My Vegas player, I don't know if it's worth investing a lot of money in it, but definitely check it out. And you can definitely score some great deals there. So the other thing as far as the hotel rooms is I move them around a lot. I never commit to go on some sort of a travel site and pre-buy the rooms. I went from 6 nights at Bally's to 3 nights at Bally's to 1 night at Bally's, which worked out just fine as it turned out. And I've done that many times. Ideally, I would love to check into my wraparound terrace suite at the Cosmo and never leave. Or any number of places. But for most of us, that's not realistic. We really want to try to save some money and have a good experience. You may have to move around a little bit. And I'm okay with that. Even if you have to check your bags for a couple of hours, can't get into your room right away, and that's usually an obstacle. Unless you're in a car, then you can just take your bags with you and just show up at the regular check-in time. But that works out pretty well. But once you have those rooms booked, you got that the flights booked and everything, it is just kind of non-stop excitement. You're set. It's not like being in Vegas, but it's like almost being in Vegas. And then you can kind of relax. You're like, I got a trip going. It may be 6 months from now, but I have a trip. Then when you get really close and you start getting down to the brass tacks, you get within 6-7 weeks. Always remember the term, and I saw it originally on the old 500 by Midnight podcast, the term Vegas Lent. Once you're 40 days out, you start to get that countdown clock going. I know some people get one of those. They throw it on their Facebook page or their Twitter or whatever all the time. And it's just an amazing feeling. Because, literally for most of us, by the time we get back from Vegas, what really matters is having another Vegas trip ready for us. So is that you? Are you that insane like the rest of us? If you are, please leave a comment down below. Appreciate all of you so much. Appreciate you checking out the show, whether it's in Kansas or here in Nebraska. or in Vegas. We have a great time doing this, and we just appreciate y'all so much. But tell me about your sort of Vegas rituals, how you plan your trips, because it's just great. And I don't have a trip now, so I feel sad. I have to go to bed and cry. But hopefully I will soon. Anyway, thank you for joining us on this episode of Vegas Weekly. Make sure to check out Black Country Vlogger. For me, please. And I hope you'll join us on next week's Vegas Weekly. We are going to do a live stream this Wednesday. We may have a special guest or a special location, so stay tuned. We'll get some kind of a thumbnail, a little more of a description up Sunday or Monday. But you're going to want to check that out. And yeah. But otherwise, we'll be back here next Saturday with another episode of Vegas Weekly. Until then, I hope you have a great, lucky, and healthy week. We'll see you all again real soon. Bye-bye.